Hello and welcome, welcome. I'm just going to give everybody a few minutes to get started. Welcome to Marlene's How To's. And this is my second live. And I'm so excited today because we're going to be talking about growing up in the islands. I'm from the island of Jamaica, but I have, other people, subscribers and, friends and so on from other islands, the Bahamas, Guyana, and so on. So welcome, welcome to everyone that's joining. And if you're not from the islands, that's fine too. We all have childhood memories that we reminisce on. So either way, we'll just have a little chat. So I'm just waiting for a few more people to come on so we can go ahead and get started. And just to say that as far as my lives go, I pretty much like when we have interaction. So that way, I know who is there. I can, make note of you. So I see that there are a couple people on right now. So if you could just leave me a little note. If you go to you go to the title of the video and then you look under the description, the title, you'll see that there are a couple little icons right there. And there's one that says live chat. So if you click on the live chat, then you will be able to, to just say hi or any questions. I typically will ask questions and stuff like that. So that's that's what I like, when people interact. So we can enjoy each other's company and just have a jolly old time. So again, if you just came on, welcome, welcome. I'm Marlene, and this is my home and garden channel. And my live in today's live, I'm going to be talking about growing up in the islands. So if you could leave me a little note onto the side so I can welcome you, that would be awesome. And then we can go ahead and get started. I haven't seen anything yet. I'm still waiting for some notations here so we can get going. So anyway, basically, I'm just going to go ahead and start. And if I need to backtrack, I can do that as well. I'm getting a little bit of background noise. I'm going to be right back in a second. All right, guys. So I am back. So we're going to go ahead and get started as far as going to the different things, as far as, growing up in the islands. And again, I'm from the island of Jamaica, if you hadn't heard the first part. So basically, the first things that I wanted to mention, oh, I see John's the home decor. Hi, and this is Mondell, one of my mutual subscribers. She has such a lovely channel. She does a lot of decorating. She has really great ideas. So after you're finished here, you can always go on and check her out. She is Johnson Home Decor, and her name is Mondale. And we do collabs sometimes too. So you may have seen her. If not, then definitely go ahead and give her, check out her channel. So now, as far as growing up in the islands, one of the things that we did. Oh, I see Juanita McFarlane. Hi. So good to see you. Blessings to you and your family as well. I so appreciate you joining me. We're talking about growing up in the islands today. So the first thing was that we actually wore uniforms to school. And I know that there's some people, because I live in the United States, like you probably know if you've been watching my channel, but I am from Jamaica. And, there are students who actually wear uniforms to school here. But for the most part, students don't. But growing up in the islands, that was a must. Whether you're in a private school or a public school, everybody wore uniforms to school. In most cases, the girls, we had little pleats, the skirts were pleated, like a little tunic over the blouse. Usually, if the blouse is like a plaid blouse, then the tunic would be a solid color. And if the tunic was like a plaid or stripes, or well, usually plaid. If it was plaid, then the blouse would actually be plain. So you don't have, like the mix and match. And I actually have done both, at different levels of school going there. As well as also for school there, we actually, we had what we call like nursery school. Then we went to primary school. And then after primary school, we stopped at the sixth grade. And then we would go to high school. So high school for us actually started in the seventh grade. While over here we have middle school, you go up to the ninth grade, and then you switch over to high school at that point. So you guys can let me know if that was your experience, where you grew up. You can just use the live chat and you can go ahead and, I'll take a look at it and I'll respond, from time to time. The next thing was in school. I remember going all the way back to school days was that we would write in cursive. And so down there we would write the cursive, but not, sometimes some people would write in script, or they would call it print over here. But basically that was cursive. And unfortunately over here, cursive, has gone away from the schools. So a lot of the students, they actually, they don't know how to write that way or to read it. So like with my kids, I, keep trying with them to see if they're able to do that as well. So that was one of the things there. And I see, Bruce Lee over here says, "Hi, Miss Merlene, and life is like family as everyone was involved. Literally, like the saying goes, it takes a village to grow a child." And that's true there. And I think it's also true over here too in America, because in my neighborhood, I have so many, good neighbors, and they actually, they actually help. I have really good neighbors, and they do help. They, keep an eye out for the kids, make sure that everything is, going really well with them. So that's a plus there and here as well. The next thing about Jamaica was actually the churches. We actually had, we're actually in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most churches. And so as far as that goes, and it's basically like per square mile is how they did it. So like when they did the check of that, that's what it said, that we actually had the most churches per square mile. So it's basically on every corner. Of course, in the rural areas it's a little different, but when you look at everything together, then that's how it goes. So Johnson Home Decor says, "Yes, I remember the uniform and ribbon." Yeah, and the ribbon, I forgot about that part. Yeah, we used to love the ribbons, and I was one of those people that it took me a while to learn to tie my ribbon. I don't know why. But it took me a while to do that, and so I had to learn. And if it got loose, I had to ask my friend to tie it back. You tie the ribbon in your hair like a little bow, or wait until I got home with it loose. But eventually I learned how to do it. But yes, the ribbons were a part of it. Some of them, most of them were kind of like a kind of almost like a kind of a satin, and some of them were, a few of them we used to call them like woolly man, because they were kind of like wool, kind of looking like a cat's tail. Yeah, not many of those we had there, but we did have a few. So yes, that was definitely something that happened in the schools. And then on our weekend days were very distinct. Is one thing that I noticed living there and living here. Basically, what happens is usually on the weekend when it's Saturday, you can tell that it's Saturday. And I guess maybe it's because the way the houses are, everything is kind of open, and so you can always tell the activities that's going on, at your neighbor's house. Like you can't walk up in there because we have gates, on the outside. But basically, you kind of have an idea. People are cooking their soup on a Saturday. You're cleaning the house. You can hear people, cleaning their house from next door. And also, like I said, the Saturday soup, that was a common thing. Chicken soup or beef or whatever the case may be. And then on Sundays, we had a lot of rice and peas and chicken. But that's going to be for a future video, and we'll take a look at the different things that we eat there. So the food is going to be a whole nother part right there. And the next one was the proverbs and the colloquial expressions. We had so many of those, and it, when you listen to it, it sounds like it's kind of shallow, like it's not that deep, but basically it really is. Oh, Tamika is here. Hi, Tamika Rosero. I'm so glad to see you. Welcome, welcome. We're talking about growing up in the islands, and so we're just looking at different parts of the culture. I may go back a little bit, as people come on, just to go over more and more of that stuff, to give more information about it. But I was talking about the proverbs, as we call them, or colloquial expressions, where basically, it is in our language, patois. We speak English, because we're from the British lifestyle. We became independent in 1962. But a lot of the British culture, has been with us. We grew up in it, and it really influences how we behave and our life and everything like that. But basically, it would be in patois. It is the relaxed language that we speak. Is a little bit of English, a little bit of African, and a wee bit of French is in there sometimes as well too. So say, for example, like this one here, and I'll try to put it, like, I'm not going to say in the patois language because I want people to understand what I'm saying. But for example, this one, it says like, a cockroach has no place in a fowl fight. And it sounds very simple, but it has a really deep meaning. It's basically saying that, you know, if you know that there are people there and they have some kind of long-standing relationship, you know, you can't just come in and try to start telling them what to do, where to go, and start picking sides and all of that, because in the end, you're the one that's going to get hurt. So that's basically what that means. You know, a cockroach has no business in a foul fight. Yes. So, oh, Johnson Home Decor says, yes, the weekend it's time to clean and oh, yes, the music for sure. And then because the place was open, you know, most places we didn't have air conditioning there, or you may just air condition your bedroom and that's it, because the price of petroleum there is so expensive because we don't produce it, you know, like America and those other countries. So it's very expensive to buy. And so that way, you know, you kind of keep the cost down as, you know, to your electricity use. So, and plus it's an island too. It's windy, it's breezy and all of that. So it's cool for most of the time, except maybe like I'd say July and August are the two really hot months right there. But yes, music for sure. That would always be blaring, you know, on a Saturday. You know, you're playing your music and you're cleaning, you get in that mood and you just keep going. And like I said, sometimes, you know, you may hear your neighbor's music next door, and it's fine, you know, and you listen to all different kinds of music. We didn't just kind of like, get pigeonholed into like one particular type. We listened to all different kinds of music. So that was a fun time too. It didn't matter who it was, you know, because sometimes, you know, and this is just as an example, you know, you may go like to some of the rural areas and they may have like, you know, the bars on the street corner, and you will find that they're listening to country and western, and you're kind of like, really? But yes, we listen to all kinds of music in the island. So that's just to show you regarding the music part and the Saturday cleaning. So back to the colloquial expression. So the next one was, it says a donkey, or sometimes it may say like a jackass, but it's the same thing. A donkey says that the world is not level. And what that basically means is that things are partial. They're not impartial, because, you know, people always have like advantages, you know. Not everybody is, you know, is raised the same way. Not everybody has the same, things that were handed down to them. And so that way it's like, you just have to come in and, you know, thank God for what he gave you, work with what you have, and just make the very best of it. And, you know, that's what's going to lead you to, you know, a peaceful and happy life. You know, just be content with what you have, strive to do better, strive for more, and you'll find yourself, you know, just going a really long way. So I'm reading your comments as I go along, guys. So Bruce Lee says, what does one cocoa full basket? Okay. I forgot about that one. You said what it means. Yeah. So like that one cocoa full basket, that means that basically, you know, somebody might be looking and saying, you know, I'm only getting one. I have a whole basket to fill. I'm only getting one little cocoa at a time. You know, that's really not going to get me too far. But the fact of the matter is that if you keep adding one at a time, then after a while you get to the point where you have a lot and your basket is full. So that's where that is coming from, which basically just means it's really about patience, you know, patience and endurance. Just allow time for things to develop and to blossom. It may not be like a lot coming in at once, but you put a little bit at a time, and then you get so surprised to see, you know, where you end up. So that's as far as that part goes there. So that's the one cocoa full basket, Bruce. And let me see what Tamika said. She says, yes, thank God indeed for what he has blessed us with, most certainly, because, you know, whenever you start to feel like you don't have a lot or you're not blessed or anything like that, just take a look around you, you know, drive to some area where you have needy people. It's not hard to find, you know, regardless of where you live. And then you'll be surprised to see, you know, like how blessed you really are, that God has really blessed you with a lot. And, you know, you have to just be grateful for it, because, you know, he provides for us, and, you know, he gives you what you need. You know, you may not always get what you want, but he'll give you what you need. So, and help others along whenever you can, you know, just help others, you know, because you just never know what tomorrow might bring. You know, everything could be going well and then something changes and then you need something. Or it could just be in a particular area of your life, you know, everything's been going well and all of a sudden something changes, and you need help, you know. So we're there to help each other. And Miss McFarlane says, Marlene, Apostle he's cracking up. Being that I am from Barbados, he is telling me what the expressions mean. Okay, that is so cool. I'm so happy that he's here. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to have you guys. You're such great supporters. Oh my goodness. I absolutely just love them. And I love you too. So that's that one. And then and this other one, I remember once I was at work and a girl said it, and I said to her, "You have been around Jamaican people." She said, "They're giving me a 6 for a 9." I said, "Where did you get that from? I know that didn't come from over here." And she said, "I have a lot of Jamaican friends, a lot of island friends. So a 6 for a 9 basically means that it looks similar, but you're giving the person less because you promised them to give them 9 things, but you gave them six. You're gonna show them, oh, if you turn it this way, it's actually a 9, but no, it's actually a 6. It's not a 9. So basically, you're basically just trying to shortchange someone, as we would say. So give them what you promised, which is that if you promise that and you give that to them, right? So that's as far as this 6 for the 9 goes. So yeah, that one was definitely funny too. I was just cracking up. So I said, you have got to have been around some island people because I know exactly where that has come from. So that one was the one about the 6 for a 9. So is anybody else out there? Can you think of any that I might have missed? Because there are so, I mean, you could just stop and think. There are so many different expressions that we have, that we use. And sometimes it would be the older people that you hear with it first. And then as you get older, you start to realize, okay, I get it now. I see what they're saying. It makes sense. It's a part of life. Oh, Cheers, Matt says, hello, Marlene. Join the party, Miss Matt. Join the party. We're talking about colloquial expressions from growing up in the islands. So I'd love for you to tell me if you know of any colloquial expressions, or proverbs as we call them. We went over a couple of them here, about the cockroach not has no business in a foul fight, or like a donkey or a jackass says that the world isn't level. Someone giving you a 6 for a 9. All of that. So if you know of any, you can always put it in there, and I'll always come back to it in the chat, and we can talk about it together. But the funniest one I was just saying a while ago is that one of my coworkers once had said, and this was years ago, she had said to someone that they're giving her a 6 for a 9, which basically, means that, they're trying to shortchange you, pretending that you're doing, something to a certain level when they're not. So that's as far as the colloquial expressions go. So the next one, let me see if she said something else. Let me scroll down a little bit here to see if I can find it. Okay, I'm not seeing it. She said, oh, I see one now from, I was skipping a line because this has a little bit of a delay, guys. So please forgive me if I miss your comments. So this one says, how you make your bed will lie in it. And that's true. It's like, however you make in other words, you make certain decisions in your life and you kind of have to live with it. Of course, you can always make changes. Nothing is ever set in stone. So you can make changes. But what it's basically saying is that you're choosing a pathway that you're going on, and you have to deal with the consequences of that. Yeah. So that's basically what that one is about. So yes, that is a good one too. And that one comes from your parents a lot. You're like, careful now, you make your bed, you're gonna have to lie in it. So put your good plans in place. Let me just get a little sip. My throat is getting dry, guys. Okay, so Miss McFarland said, Apostle said not to put your hat where your hand can't reach it. Oh, that's a good one. So for that one, right, that one is basically saying that you are trying to, and there's nothing wrong with, trying to strive for things that are, taking you to the next level. But at the same time, you don't want to put it so far that you can't accomplish it. So basically, we would say, in today's day, you want to set reachable goals, goals that you can reach. You have stretch goals, you kind of stretch yourself a little bit, but at the same time, don't go so far that you get overwhelmed and then you just give up on everything. So that was a good one too. Don't put your hat where your hand can't reach it. Yes, so that is so very true. Yes, yes, Mondale, definitely. And so, like for this one, like I was saying before, because I'm going to be doing it in 3 different parts. This one is basically talking just about the culture, and that's what we're going to be looking at, because when we're going to be talking about the food, all my island people, wherever, whichever island you're from, that we have different types of foods that we have, and so that's going to be a whole different topic. When I get a chance to do that one, because I'm not going to be able to do these every week. But whenever I do get a chance, I will come on and we'll just reminisce and have some fun together. So the food's going to be a whole different one. But yes, that is something that we'll definitely take a look at down the road. So this one is talking about air conditioning and cold showers. So the air conditioning, as I was explaining at the earlier part of the stream, is that because we don't, produce gas naturally in most of the islands, Trinidad and Tobago, they do. They produce oil there, so it's probably a little easier for them in that regard. But the price of, your power bill is really high, and it's an island. We have a lot of breeze coming through. We're not really, really bad, like for heat until like July and August. So we don't usually have air conditioning in the house. The windows are open, the door is open, your gate is closed, but your door is usually open. Pretty much free and open. And you may have a bedroom that's air conditioned, but apart from that, your house is pretty much open and you're getting the island breeze coming through. So that was kind of an adjustment, living in if you're living in the UK or living in America or other countries where you have the AC running all the time. Sometimes when you go back to visit, you have to kind of like get used to, that there may not be AC depending on where you're staying. Oh, so Miss Matt says you can't catch. Whoa, what's that? Oh, Quaco, you catch him shot. Okay, so that one is basically, that's another expression. That one is basically saying sometimes somebody trying to, do you harm or come after you, but basically, because they can't get to you, they probably try to get to someone that's close to you, to hurt you or something. So yeah, that's another one right there as well. And Bruce Lee says, Coco saying is what you and your YouTube family do when you put your. Oh, yes, yes. Because Bruce Lee is one of my avid subscribers. And he says, yes, like when we do our collabs, definitely, because I do collaborations, which I'll talk about in a little bit, where we basically support and help each other. And so that's basically a part of that where we actually, we help each other out, to grow. And that's what it's a part of because we're here, it's fun to do it. But we're basically, just providing information. Sometimes you're providing entertainment or both. You're, kind of like helping people along the way. There's so many different ways that we use YouTube for. It's a very useful tool. Of course, with everything, there's always going to be one-offs, one-off situations that it's the opposite of that. But for the most part, it's there to help people. And that's why I started my YouTube channel because I was going through some medical issues, getting up, a certain part of my, age in life. And I was having some issues, and I went to YouTube to find out like how do I deal with this, and I got like a lot of different points of view, different information to help me. And then once I got over it, by the grace of God, once I got over it, I said, okay, how can I help people? I have to do something that I know something a little bit about. So I'm kind of giving you good information. And that's how I did my home and garden channel. And here we are. Got up to 1,000 subscribers the other day, and I was so grateful to all of you. I did the thank you video for that one, the live stream for that one. So the collabs then definitely, we help each other to grow. And she said everyone doesn't forget, yes. And she's saying that thank you, she's saying that always like and share because people can come in and join the live stream even after I've done it. I typically stay on usually for an hour, maybe a little bit less or a little bit more depending on how it's going, but you can always share because I do make it available once I finish. So you can always give me a thumbs up, if you're getting any value from this at all, any information, or just to relax. If you're just relaxing, just taking it, kicking it back a little bit, you can give me a thumbs up for that too. That's fine. But yes, thank you, Mandel from Johnson Home Decor. And guys, again, check her out. Check out Tamika Rosero. They have wonderful channels. They're always cleaning and organizing. They're so good at it, guys. So be sure to check them out. They're right there in the chat after the live stream, of course. So I was talking about the air conditioning that yes, bedroom only, if at all, but for the most part, we were pretty good with that. We just had to have to get used to it when we're going back to visit, back home. Now, this one for me was a big one because this one is the cold showers because most places, because it's hot all the time, you want to cool down. So you don't really, use a water heater. You have cold showers. However, in the month of January, that's when it gets so cold. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like when I'd go look for my grandmother, she lived in Manchester, which is a very cold parish. We call them parishes there, kind of similar to what's in Louisiana, or I guess maybe like a county over here, kind of similar, but not quite, because we have 3 counties. But it's so small, so we have like 14 parishes there. And so that was a cooler area. And when you went there, sometimes you're talking in the morning, you could see like Jack Frost coming off. It was that cold. And there was no water heater there. So it was always so cold in the summer. Me and my sister, we were like, oh my gosh. So first time we just like, oh no, grandma, we can't do. So she had to, get some, boil some hot water for us, and then we had like a nice warm bath, and that was so nice. So rest her soul. That was wonderful of her. So that's as far as the cold showers go. The next thing, you can see this wonderful scenery behind me right there, and my little backdrop right here, which I like to use for my tropical live streams. It's the beaches because we're on the island, whether it's Barbados, well, Guyana. I know you have surrounding countries, but a lot of the islands, they will have some coastal area. If not the entire country or island, then, a good deal of it, you'll have some coastal areas there. So it doesn't take very long to get to the beach. So that was always very accessible. You have your palm trees, like you can see my palm trees back there in my backdrop. So that was always there to just give you a lot of relaxation and comfort. And apart from a few like private beaches, it's access to everyone. Whether you're rich or poor, it doesn't matter. It's just open and you can go whenever you like. And that's pretty much year round. Maybe January, maybe not as much, but you still have, warm days there. Or maybe like in the middle of the day, it's fine. You can go then. But like early morning, maybe not the best thing. But other than that, we had our beaches everywhere. All right. And so I was going to take a pause at this point to talk about like the collabs, for my fellow YouTubers that are actually on here right now. And some of you have done collabs with that, over time. And guys, if you're just joining, please feel free to leave me a comment, in the live chat. If you look at the title under there, you'll see where it says live chat. You can just tap on that and it will allow you to, just leave a comment so I can acknowledge you and just thank you for joining me today, because every single one of you is important to me. It means a lot. And I appreciate it, and I just like to give you a shout out. If that's not your thing, you just want to watch, and that's fine too. Everybody has their own preference. No pressure here. So regarding the collabs now, basically what we do is a small, because I try to keep mine not more than 6, just so to keep the size reasonable. And all of mine are usually open. I've never done a closed collaboration since I've been doing them, where basically what we do is we have other YouTube channels that do similar content to ours, because mine is gardening, as you probably know, and decorating. So if you're into those two, then we do collaborations together. Oh, hi, Classy Andra. I'm so glad to see you, my dear. She is all the way in the UK, so I know it is not early for you over there right now. It definitely isn't. So I so appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much. And we also have Maverick Hunter. Congrats on the second live, going well so far. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you. Thank you for leaving me a note as well too. So I was talking about the collaborations. They really help. If you're in a similar niche, you present similar things, then of course, you can always, do collaborations, with others, whether you're going to just join after they have announced one already, or if it's a case where you want to be like one of the people that's a host or a co-host, then you can always reach out. I'm on Instagram at Marlene's How To's. So if your content is similar to mine, you can always reach out that way. It's Marlene's How To's. That's the handle on Instagram. You can reach out that way. And the other ladies here too, if they're interested, Tamika and Johnson Home Decor. Classy Andrea's on here as well too. I think it helps. It has helped me to make some new connections with people. And, you just go ahead and you do them. And it's fun, getting, that interaction going. But again, like I said, it makes sense to do it with someone that's in your niche, so that, the people that watch your content and watches theirs, you can interact together. So, it really is very helpful that way. And, because it wouldn't make sense for me to do one with, say, somebody who does maybe like, I don't know, just something maybe like rock climbing, nothing against rock climbing, but they're kind of like not going together, so you would want to do it with someone that, is of a similar niche as yours. And I have one coming up. I know some of you are in tropical areas, that's watching, so it might not be relevant to you, but the fall season is around the corner. I just want to put it out right now. It's going to be September 15th at 6 p.m. And it'll come out on my community tab in the next couple of days or so. And, we already established the amount of people based on the time frame that I had to work with. So, but you can always join it. We're going to be decorating our porch or our front door, either or, with these colors of fall, those beautiful yellows, oranges, burgundy colors. Sometimes you see like certain type shades of green mixing in there to our browns. It just, for me, fall, I'm a tropical girl, I'm an island girl, and I love Jamaica. And I love America too. I'm grateful for wherever God places me. I'm happy with it. But I'm telling you, the fall season is my absolute favorite. Oh, hi, Penny. So good to see you. Hi. Penny is one of our wonderful collaborators as well. And she's going to be in the one that's upcoming that I'm actually talking about right now. It's going to be September 15th. That's a Thursday. I usually do mine on Thursdays to allow for people who have, collabs on other days and other things that they do. I don't want to interfere with anybody's time frames. So Thursdays are the days that I usually do. Like I was saying, you can always join in. I'm going to be putting it on my community tab very shortly, so you'll see it there. And you can always come on and, just look at the information, and you can always join us. And basically, going to be using the warm colors of autumn, whether it's going to be for your front porch or it's going to be just for your front door. Either way, so you have no excuse because everyone has a front door. It's just a matter of if it's going to look odd because you live, like, say, in South Florida. I get it. It probably doesn't make sense for you, but otherwise, please feel free. Join us. We're happy to have you. So, like I said, I'll be putting that out in the community tab. So that's basically as far as my little YouTube section, because I always try to slip a little in about YouTube, just the whole YouTube live and the collabs and all of that we have going. But I'm going to go back to the main subject of this, which is basically growing up in the islands. I know some of my people watching right now that they're not from the islands, but you may have visited. So we kind of just are reminiscing about some of the things that we did, some of the colloquial expressions that we have. I see Jared C. He said, hello, thanks for the heads up, September 15th. Oh, you are very welcome. So yes, as far as that goes, we basically we want to look at different things. Let me just go over real quickly for you, which was that we were looking at the uniforms, that we had to wear uniforms to school. I know some people wear uniforms over here, but we always had to wear it. But it was a public school or a private school, you are going to be wearing uniforms. And we had to wear those pleated skirts, but the tunics in most cases over our blouse. And we actually had to learn to iron them. So by the time as a girl you get to be like age 9 or 10, you're gonna know how to iron your uniform. We had someone who'd come in and wash them for the family, but they never did the ironing. They just washed them, had them dry, took them down, and then we would have to go and iron our uniforms. And so you had to iron your little blouse and you put your tunic on over it. Typically, you'd maybe have like 5 blouses and like 3 tunics because you didn't have to change your tunic like every day. They're usually plaid, dark colored, and so on. So, but that was a part of, growing up there. And it was fun, learn to iron. And then the next one was about that we had to write in cursive down there. And I know that's a thing. I know, Miss Penny, I know that that's a thing for you too, that you most likely would have been writing in cursive in school. That still happens down there. It doesn't happen over here anymore. My children, my boys, I try to show them a little bit how to write in it. Sometimes they can understand it a little bit, but not as easily as we would, especially if the person is writing really curly and swirly. There's like, Mom, I don't know what that is. So I'll show them. So, but it's a good thing. I'm really sorry that cursive went away because I think it's just so beautiful. And honestly, there are some ladies that I know, they're a lot older than me, maybe like, in their late 70s and so on. And they'll write like a card or something to me. And their penmanship is absolutely beautiful. Mine has just gone the way of whatever. I don't know if it's trying to write both, but I don't write as good as I used to anymore. But anyway, the cursive, they write the cursive. It is just so beautiful. But who knows, life changes. Sometimes things happen that you never expect them to. It may very well come back. We just never know. So we have Deslin. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Welcome, my dear. I just saw that you came on here. You said hi there. You used to wear. Oh yes, that's true too. Some people wore ties, and that's why I never learned to tie a tie until this day. I do not know how to tie a tie. But most of the schools, they wore ties. Like if they had like they didn't have, if they wouldn't wear a tie with like a tunic over your blouse. But there are some schools that wear like a pleated skirt and they wear like a little blouse on top, like a shirt blouse type of thing, tucked inside. They'd wear a tie to identify themselves, whether they were a girl or a boy. Everybody in my family except me went to a school that wore a tie. So I was the only one that never learned how to tie a tie, and I still don't. So maybe I should watch a YouTube channel on how to tie a tie, or ask my husband or my sons to teach me how to tie a tie. So yeah, so basically, that's as far as the uniform goes. Let me just keep track of the comments here. Oh, Penny says, hi, ladies. Okay, so that's as far as that part goes. And I also said that the weekend days that they're very distinct. Saturdays are very distinct from Sundays. On Saturdays, Saturday soup. I just made some not too long ago. I'm gonna have it once we finish here. We had a late lunch, so we're having a little later dinner, but I'm gonna have my soup. And then Sundays is gonna be rice and chicken. I mean rice and peas and chicken for the most part. All right. And then the Proverbs, we talked about things like someone giving you a 6 for a 9, which basically means that someone is, they're kind of like shortchanging you. They're gonna like, oh, it looks the same, but really and truly it doesn't. They're pulling a fast one on you. So basically that's what. So I'll just put that one out there so as not to, go back too much over for the people who were here and we went through so many different ones about that. I have a little pop-up here, so let me clear that. Okay, so it is gone. You're very welcome, Mondale from Johnson Home Decor. Guys, please check out our channel. She has a wonderful channel there. So there's Love and as well as Tamika and Penny's Lifestyle Living. When you're finished here, be sure to check them out. And this is just the people that I'm seeing because maybe there are others watching that I'm not seeing. So I can't. And that's right. Classy Andrea TV. She says, yes, Saturday soup. And she cooks on her channel too. So guys, be sure to check her out. And I'm putting a lot out there at you. But, when you have some spare time, just make a note of them and just go ahead and, show them some support, I know they'll definitely appreciate that because, like I said, she does cooking too, and she has wonderful container gardens. So you can always check her out when you get a chance and hit that subscribe button for these ladies too, if you haven't already. All right, so moving along. Let me see. Then it was the games that we used to play. And I had Dandy Shandy as the first one. Miss McFarlane, you can let me know if you played Dandy Shandy in Barbados. I don't know, but we did in Jamaica, and I'll tell you what it is. So as to because some people didn't necessarily have the ball that they need, and it really works better. We've got like a pint box, not a quart, like a pint box that the juice would come in. Like what your little 1 quart milk or juice would come in. We have like the 1 pint one that we drink at school, and you basically get like some newspaper and you stuff the box. And then you'd have like 3 girls playing. You'd have one. I think that's probably what they call like monkey in the middle here. That's kind of like what it is, but a little different in that they're trying to hit you with it, but it doesn't hit hard. So it's just like you'd be offended or hurt. It was fun. So basically what they do is you have 2 girls at the end. They would basically throw the ball from one to the other. And then they'd try to see if you could kind of like dodge. I guess it's kind of like dodgeball too. They'd throw it at you and you kind of like dodge to see if you could miss it. And it was just fun. You would do it and you switch around. So, and guys, let me know if I'm getting anything wrong about it. But as that's how I remember it. We call it Dandy Shandy, where you kind of like just slip to the side. Some people would jump up. They jump all the way up. It goes under their feet. Put your head to the side and stuff like that. So that was a fun game that we had there. Classy Andrea TV says, OMG, Dandy Shandy. Oh, yes. That takes me right back to primary school. And the next one was hula hoop. Hula hoops are over here in America too. My boys don't play because they're boys. You're not going to do that. But hula hoop is over here. So I know that everyone knows what that is. And then we used to play the hula hoop. And then, I got kind of good at it. We'd start around the waist and then you would spin it around until it got up to your chest. And then you go up to your neck. And then you put your hand up and you go up to your hand. And you go in on your hand. And then you go all the way back down with it going round and round, all the way back down. Then you go down to your chest, down to your waist. And you go back to your feet again. And some of them girls, I was very average with it. But there were some of the girls down there, I'm telling you, they were the boss with the hula hoop. But I see it over here in America too. I see a lot of kids that they'll do that as well. So that was the next one. And then this one wasn't as popular. We call it like Chinese skip, where you get like some rubber bands and you join them together, like loop one into the other, and you make like a big ring, maybe like about when you put it flat, it'll be maybe like about 7 feet or so. And then you have 2 people hold it at the ends with their feet, and then you kind of like use one end and put it over and then go back over and stuff like that. So that one wasn't as popular, but it was definitely there as well. I'm not sure I got the name, but that's kind of what it was for that one. So if you guys are thinking of any other games, you can always put them out there, and I'll be more than happy to take a look at it as well. And then we also had paper dolls, and I know the paper dolls is something for over here in America as well too. But I used to love paper dolls. And the best paper dolls that I prefer, the ones that I made myself. Me and my little friend next door, my best friend for a couple of years until she moved away. Sad day when she moved away. But we used to make them. We'd make our paper dolls. Well, actually, we would maybe get one first from the store and just see how they made it. They was usually a little bit bigger, and then we'd go and we'd make our, draw our paper dolls, cut them out, and then we'd make the clothes for them. We make pants. The only thing that wouldn't change was the shoes. Hi, Deborah Kabasa. I see you. Oh, you said you just got home. Okay, welcome, welcome. We're glad to have. We're talking about at this point. We're talking about games of growing up in the islands. And there's a love. She says Jacks and the ball. Yes, that was another one too. And I think Jacks might be over here as well too. We had like, I wish I had one to show you if you don't know what it is, but we had like a rubber ball and a little Jacks. And you can look it up when you're. I think it's JAX is how it's spelled. Forgive me if I spell it wrong, but I think that's what it was. And you basically you get them in your hand. I think it was a dozen. You just toss them on the table and you try to just, pick them up. I think it was like by ones and then by twos, or, sweep all of them together. And it was a learned skill. And that, again, was something for the girls. And I'm sorry, guys, if I'm leaving you out. You can always let me know games that you used to play if I'm leaving you out, because I do have a couple of guys on here as well, too. But basically, that was another one. So thank you for that. Yes. Miss Juanita says, she said she used to love Jacks. Yes, so I guess you're probably good at that. I was kind of, again, mediocre on that one too, but we didn't care. We were just having fun. And then I'm just trying to see the if the guys wanted to add anything, because I have a couple of guys on here. If you don't want to add anything, though, that's fine. But that's basically as far as I can remember. I'm sure there's a whole lot more of them. Oh, and then and this is just like games that we basically had where we were just kind of like improvising for the most part. I'm not really talking about like games that you'd play like at PE, or you join a club or something, because there's a lot of netball. A lot of netball was played there, and I know netball is over here too. Oh, Bruce Lee says we played marbles. Yes, that was a big one for the boys. Yes, marbles were definitely a big thing there. Yes. And the marbles were so pretty. Honestly, that was the main thing that I did. I just watched my brothers play marbles. Me and my sister, we would just watch them play marbles with their friends. And I just thought they were just so pretty. I mean, they had the most beautiful designs. I probably just collect them and sit there and look at them. They look so pretty. I love pretty things. What can I tell you? I love pretty plants. I love pretty flowers. I love, decorating my house, affordably. But that's just me. So I used to like looking at the marbles. And John Tobacco said, so much games I forgot about. Yes, sometimes you really have to reminisce and just go back and just some fun memories. And that's just the thing, guys, and that's what I tell people, because you don't know how many days you have left. You don't know how many days your family members have left. So you have to enjoy them while you have them. I mean, don't go out and do stuff that's gonna get you in trouble or get people in trouble or anything. But enjoy your days. You have children, let them enjoy their childhood, because you're not gonna pass that way again. You'll never get those days back. And at least if you had them, you can look back and say, okay, it may be a tough time right now, because we all go through tough times, but at least we know that we had those good times, and good times will come again. They'll come again, unless you're at the end of your life and you go on to a better place. But basically, tough times come, but we go through them. Whether the storm, somebody sent me something today talking about weather in the storm. Whether the storm, you go through it, and then a brighter day comes. It's never gonna storm. I've never known of any storm that has ever last forever. It always ends at some point. It has to. That's just how God made the world, So, you go through it and it gets better. But you create these wonderful memories. And then, you can always look back and you say, I remember when I used to do this and I used to do that and so on. And it's just such a blessing in your life. You know what I mean? So yes, definitely, enjoy them. Think of these wonderful memories that you have. And sometimes, I mean, if you're in physical good shape, you can always go and, you can go ahead and revisit them. I'm not saying go out there and try to do something that, if you have like problems with your joints or whatever, go and get hurt. But you can always go back and revisit some of the games that you used to play. Maybe you have like children, you have grandchildren. Enjoy those with them if it's not gonna cause you any hurt. Just bring them back. And like I said, even the cursive writing, you can try to teach your kids cursive, because I'm thinking to myself, and that's why I started to teach my sons a little bit, because I'm just like, what if they found a letter that that their grandmother wrote, my mother or my husband's mother? They can't read it. And that's a shame, because that might be some valuable information for them. So, and that's why I try to teach them a little bit. They're not perfect with it. They still have a ways to go, but, It's all of those things, looking back, looking ahead, but you look back a little bit too and you reminisce on the good times. And Tamika said, I love jump rope. Yes, definitely. Hopscotch, flying kites. That was for the boys again, flying kites. They used to make those big kites, I call them beige kites. And they'd go like all the way up in the sky. This was something like around like Easter time when there's a lot of breeze coming through. They would always have those kites flying them, and they were beautiful, man. They just go to the shop and they buy what they call, I guess that's like wax paper. They call it grease paper because I had brothers growing up. I had one sister, and so they'd go and they'd get them at the store, different pretty colors, and they'd make them, and they'd be so beautiful. I'm telling you, sometimes when they got desperate, they'd actually use us like a folder leaf from their binder and just get like some they get like the parts of the coconut front, like the branch, and just run it through there like like a stitch going through, and I make like a X with it or a plus, and then they just put the tail on, put some rope on, get some washers from their folder, the washers that you put on the binder, the leaves, so that they don't pop. Put them on there, get some holes in it, and off they go. They're just running in the yard and just flying their little kite. So Bruce Lee says, oh, you need to pass those games. Oh, yes, you do. You need to pass those games on to your kid. That's what Bruce says. And Deborah Cabasa says, one of my favorite was jumping double dutch. Yes, and the double dutch is over here too. So definitely that one is, for both areas. We made our toys, yes, and skates and so on. There are so many different things that we did, just for fun. And some people, they could afford to, to get the one at the store, but it's so much fun, and you sit and you use your hand to make it. Some of them, of course, it was out of necessity. They just couldn't afford to buy the other one. But a lot of people, they could afford it, but they just be like, I want to do it myself, make it myself. And it was so much more fun. They make a little hand cart, they go down, you're going down with it. It's just like over here, and you see people like, what they call it again? Is it toboggan or something like that? I hope I'm not messing it up. But like they'll just, like winter time comes, you see them, they got the strangest like little tubs and stuff, and they jump in them and they just slide right on down in the yard. And it's more fun than going to buy one in the store because, it's something casual. You made it and you just go ahead and you enjoy it, So that's as far as, what the girls did and what the boys did as far as, all the games that we had. So, and she said, rolling tires with sticks. Yes. Yes, Tamika, that was another one. And again, I know how things are these days, and I'm never going to be political on this channel. Absolutely not. I can tell you from right now. Political or extra personal, I'm not going to do it. But some of the toys were very gender specific. There's some things that the boys did that the girls would not do, because you would not see me rolling a tire with a stick, but you would see some of the little boys doing it. Or you may not see me flying a kite, and the boy, my brothers would do it, but that's just how it was. You wouldn't see a boy playing with paper dolls. You're not going to see that. So that's just how it was. It's just those times. That's how it was back in those days. The next thing now is, and excuse me, I just need to have a little sip here. The next thing was when the rain falls in the island. That's something I had to get used to. I'm sure, in the UK, in the United States and other countries, it's a little different because of how everything is structured. But back in the islands, when the rain falls, not a whole lot happens. I remember once when I was working for a cruise line. I think that was my first job over here, decades ago. And a gentleman came to visit us because, we had to, let some of our clients, get details about the cruise line and so on. It was one of those luxury cruise lines. And he came to visit from Egypt. And he said, in Egypt, if it rains for 30 minutes, everything shuts down. Everything shuts down. Nothing is going to happen because they're not used to rain over there. He says rain falls sometimes, but it actually evaporates before it reaches the surface of the ground. So they're just not used to it. So when the rain falls, everything shuts down. In Jamaica, it's not that extreme. However, what happens is, as far as the rain goes, like at school days, whenever it rained on the school days, maybe about half of the kids would show up. And those were fun days when we were in school, man. I'm telling you, because guess what? The teacher comes to the class and she just said, we'd have a little reading corner. He said, just go and get a storybook and sit down and read your stories. Oh my gosh, Brother Rabbit and Brother Fox, or Brother Rabbit and Brother Fox, as they used to call them, and all those little stories. We would just go ahead and just sit there and just have fun the entire day, man. Those were the days that I lived for. Those rainy days, man, I'm telling you. And then when we go home, the water's running in the little, by the street, and these little boys would make their little paper boats, and they put them on their little boats are floating down, and they, have the boats going. But pretty much that's how it would go. Because even like the jobs, basically, um, you know, not everyone is going to show up when it rains, and it's kind of like understood. You would just let them know, you're not coming in today because of the rain issues or whatever, and that was it. So that was a little different there, but I understand why. It's because of how it is. It's a tropical climate. Things are different. The rivers are different. Everything runs differently, so it affects you in different ways than over here. So that's kind of how it was when the rains fell. Everything kind of like shut down. So let me see I just want to catch up on your comments here, guys. Tamika says, don't know. Yes, that's right, about not knowing how many days you have left. And that's so true, especially since these last 2 years. I'm telling you, that has changed my outlook on so many things, because it gets you to realize more that, it's just kind of like, we don't know. You don't know what can happen the next day. It's like we took so many things for granted. And these last 2 years and change have really, for me, it has really been a wake-up call. It really has been a wake-up call. So I look at things a little differently than I did before. And I basically just, try to, make changes in my life. And I encourage my family members outside of my own family, like siblings and so on, just, how to, just that you are not promised tomorrow. A lot of things can change. So just, make the best you can of what you have today. And then, reminisce on the good times, and just do the best you can with that. Just Ellie Lee. Hello, everybody. Ellie, so nice to see you. I saw your video the other day, but I wasn't sure what time it was coming out. It said a little late. I think it said like 3 a.m. I think it probably meant 3 p.m. So I'll go and check it out. She does really good cooking videos. So, when you get a chance, you can also check out her channel as well. So I'm basically just doing shout outs kind of sort of in the chat here for the people that I recognize, as, people who are fellow YouTube creators. But I think she's from Trinidad. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, Ellie. But she does some really good cooking videos on there. And I saw one recently that I'm gonna try, where she had like, I think it was chickpeas, and she used the curry on there, because I went somewhere and I had it, and I said, this is so good, but I tried it and it didn't come out so good. I'm a really good cook. My husband is a really good cook too. But it didn't come out really good. So I'm going to go. Oh, she said, yes, she is wonderful. So hello, Trinidad. So we have Trinidad, we have Barbados, we have Guyana, we have the United States, we have Jamaica, like a couple of different countries represented here. But yes, so I'm going to go back and get your recipe from your channel. And guys, if you ever want to go in and check any of our channels, you just go on the channel, you can type our name and it'll pop up, because YouTube has made a little change to that, which is in our favor. It's easier to find us now. So once you know the channel name, you just type it in this, like in the little bar, like when you're searching, that little bar that goes across, like you're searching in Google or whatever, but you do it in YouTube, and the person's channel will come up, and you just tap on their icon, tap on videos. You can go to whether regular videos or live, whatever. If it's a live like this one, when it ends, it will still be available. And you can just go on there, look at their videos. You can tap on most popular, or just the ones that they did most recently. And you can go in and you can get the information. So that's how you can search for it right there. She says, my cooking skills improved due to working at home for 1.5 years. That is wonderful. Absolutely. Well, that one was looking really good. So I am going to look for it, and I'm going to try that. One of these days I will, message you on your, on your, one of your videos, and tell you exactly how it went for me, because I liked it, and I want to know how to do it myself, So that's as far as that part goes. So yes, guys, try to, we try to support each other and just, grow and give as much information as we can, because we're just really here to help each other out. Alrighty. So I just spoke about when the rain falls. Ellie, we were talking before. I don't want to go back too much over it, so I'll just run over it really quickly for you, because other people have been here. I don't want them to be hearing the same thing over and over again. But we talked about wearing uniforms to school, that we wrote in cursive, that in Jamaica we are in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most churches per square capita. Per capita or square mile? Yes, per square mile. That our weekend days were distinct. Saturday, you can tell it's Saturday different than Sunday. Or colloquial expressions or proverbs, as we call them, like, for example, giving someone a 6 for a 9 and what that means, like kind of shortchanging somebody. Air conditioning, not in most of the house, maybe just in the bedroom, if at all. Cold showers that are not fun when you're in the month of January or sometimes February. Yeah, we had beaches everywhere there. And oh, and I almost forgot to mention this. My grandma, rest her soul, she, just to show you how open things are back in the island. She was in the rural areas, and we'd love to visit her in the summertime. And I was just so amazed. She'd always just cook this huge pot of food every day. I'm just like, why is she doing that? And I noticed that as people were going home from work, or just from their, like they're homemakers and they're going home from shopping or whatever, they would just stop by and come and eat. They just say hey, and they come over and they start talking, and she just showed up and just sit there, right there on the, well, we call it a front porch over here in America. I think that's probably what you call it over there in the UK too, but we call it a veranda, the back there. And so we just sit on the veranda. You see people coming, they would just come, get the food, sit down and eat. And it was just very, very open and warm that way. Your home was always open. You wouldn't have to call someone and say, well, some people didn't have a phone anyway in the rural areas back then. It's very different now. Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody does. Doesn't matter what their age is. Everybody in Jamaica now has a cell phone. But you wouldn't like say, call and say, can I come over? Or can I come over tomorrow? You just come and knock on the gate. I mean, as long as it's not like they think you're going to be asleep, like it's too early or too late. Because after 9, nobody disturbs you unless it's an emergency. They get that in 9 p.m. And in the morning, they wouldn't like bother you, maybe like say before maybe 11 o'clock or something. But other than that, your gate is closed on the outside of the yard, but your door is usually open. You knock on the gate and they come and they visit you. And you go in and you see them. And you give them some food if you don't have any. You say, well, no food. And we just give them something to drink, maybe a little soda or a little lemonade. You made maybe some fruit punch. And you go ahead and you give it to them. And that's pretty much just how we did it. But again, like I said, it's tropical. Everything is open. So it's different. Every country has their own culture, and you basically adapt to it and you love it, because that's your way of life. And you find ways around it to make it work for you. And again, I'm happy to be in America, and I'm happy that I grew up in Jamaica. I'm thankful for both. And I do take my kids to visit from time to time, so they get a mix of both worlds. I've went to the Bahamas a couple of times. And there are other things on my list that I'm hoping, other countries to visit, maybe Barbados, possibly Guyana, just different places. So certainly, yes, yes. All right. And we talked about the rain, and then we had brushed on the music before. Mondale had brought that up earlier about the music, like on Saturdays when we were cleaning, because that was cleaning day. And the children are the ones that are going to be cleaning. Mama is not going to be cleaning unless she has really young kids. Once you get to a certain age, you're the one that's going to be doing that, because she has enough stuff to do already. She's cooking. She is, getting maybe like things at the market, because, they go to the market separate from getting dry goods at this, like at the, as we call them, grocery store over here, we call them supermarkets there. But the market was different, because you go there and, all the people would come in from the rural areas and they would have fresh produce, fresh from the farm every time. So of course I'd always go for those. So that's a separate shopping. We as the kids would go over and get the dry goods, at the shopping areas. And usually they're, fairly walking distance from where you are, or you could get the bus to go over, or, get a cab if you didn't have a car. When you get a car, you just drive your car and go over. So, but yeah, so Saturdays we were basically cleaning for the most part, and then we would be playing that music. And you could actually most times hear your neighbor's music next door. But we appreciate all different kinds of music. So it was always fun. And people were respectful. They would not put something on there. People are using curse words, because they already know that, that's not a part of our culture. You really have to be respectful. So you may not like that music as much, but you were okay with it, So that's kind of what Saturdays were like. We would basically clean and we play our music. And since we're touching on the music, most people know Jamaica for reggae music. That's a very big deal there. Most people know about Bob Marley. For Trinidad, they're famous for calypso, the pan music, but everything kind of gets meshed in together. And of course, Puerto Rico, Deborah Cabasa is from Puerto Rico. I almost forgot to mention Puerto Rico. I'm so sorry. They have reggaeton, which is basically a mix. To me, it seems like it's a mix of reggae music as well as hip hop. That's how it sounds to me, and I love all of them, because, as a culture states, we pretty much follow almost, there are very few types. There are some genres that I don't like, and I won't name them. But for the most part, jazz, R&B, calypso, reggae, hip hop, it just depends. I don't like curse words in my music though, so that's the only difference. So, but yeah, we had so many different artists down there, so that was definitely an enjoyable part of the culture as well. So what did Deborah Cabas say? Oh, she gave a smile. So I'm hoping that I got the reggaeton part correct. I hope so. And then Johnson Home Decor says, all the clothes to wash by hand. Yeah, well, some people did, some people didn't. It just depends. After a while, we got one. But and some people, some of my neighbors did, some did not. It just depends. But sometimes you'd have somebody who'd come by, and that was their work that they did. That come by and wash them for you. Like there are certain little small little delicates that we would wear. That's something that you had to do for yourself, especially as a female. You had to do those separate. Nobody's gonna be doing that for you. But so just Ellie Lay says yes, too much profanity in music these days. Well, honestly, that's been around for a long time. As far back as I can remember, it's just a matter though of how it's presented and the ease at which it's put over to you. Because growing up back then, it's something that if you wanted that, you had to go to special places to get that. It's just gonna be something just here like random or whatever. And they're not gonna try to like sometimes you feel like they'll cut the words out so you can listen to it. They're just not going to use them, period. They're not going to use it. So, but that's as far as the music goes. We have calypso, we have reggae, we have reggaeton. I'm not sure. I know Guyana listens to similar type of music too, but I didn't know if you had any genre that was specific to you guys or to Barbados. I'm not sure. But basically, so that's the music as far as that goes. It's very enjoyable. And of course, we have all of our people from the islands, that are famous for different things. Of course, I can speak to people like Usain Bolt. People know him. He's one of our quick runners. Oh my goodness, why am I forgetting her name right now? This is so bad. The ladies who won, in the gold medals. Oh, Miss Juanita says calypso in Barbados. Yes. Oh, and Miss Deborah says salsa and merengue. Miss Deborah, you're gonna have to teach me how to do some merengue. I kind of like celebrate a lot of different cultures. Mostly the island ones, though, to be honest. But I'm telling you, I just like to look at these things, how they decorate their stuff when they put on those fancy clothes and they start to dance and everything. I love to see that and those beautiful bright colors. I just love it. And everybody has their own thing that they do. But yeah, I definitely like to see salsa and merengue for sure, and of course the calypso. So, guys, I don't know if you had any questions to me. As I said, I typically answer the questions because we're kind of, getting to the point of wrapping it up. I usually try to beat me like an hour and 10 to 15 minutes. So basically, if you had any questions about anything that's upcoming for me, or if you had any gardening questions, because I do gardening and decorating videos on Thursdays. I do my decorating ones, which is when I typically do my collabs. And again, just to try to not, clash with anyone else, because we have a couple of group of ladies that we collab together quite often, and some days are specific, and that's why I chose Saturday afternoons, because I didn't want to get over into anybody else's space. So this is typically my time frame, either starting at 6:30 or 6, depending on what's going on in my life at that point. But Thursdays I do my decorating videos. Some of them are collabs, some of them are just me. And then on Fridays, I do my gardening videos. And that is honestly the main thing for my channel. If you ever go to my channel, you look at the most popular, those are the ones that actually get the most views on there. But I'm fine with the decorating ones. I love doing these collabs. I love connecting with these ladies. I've made so many good, relationships with these ladies. And I treasure every one of you. Last live, we had 2 giveaways, and Deborah won one of those. So she said she really liked her card. It was like a homemade card. And sure as Matt, she also she said she liked hers as well too. So sometimes I'll do giveaways. I'm not gonna be doing anything that's really, really pricey or anything like that, but just to show appreciation for you spending the time, and just being, people who come back from time to time and participate. So that's as far as it goes. So did you have any questions? What does Deborah say? She said, please don't forget to. Oh, she says, please don't forget to give her a thumbs up. Yes, I would appreciate that. And like I said, also, like Mundell from Johnson Home Decor was saying, you can always share this once we're finished. Maybe a few minutes after, then it becomes available after the live stream. So you can always go ahead and you can share it with someone if you think they maybe might find fun in thinking back to the childhood days. If this brings a smile to someone's face, I have basically accomplished what I set out to do, and that's what I was trying to do. So if you can think of someone that may be going through something right now, they're probably, like grew up in the islands, or it could be in America or the UK, it doesn't matter. Some of the things overlap, it's kind of like you here and you there, everything overlaps. So, if you think this might, bring back some good memories for them and bring a smile to their face, please free to go ahead and share it. It is long. They don't have to watch all of it. They can watch a part of it. It doesn't matter. But it's good to share too. And like you say, give me a thumbs up. Whenever we get thumbs up, it helps in some way. It helps to, show the YouTube recommendation system, that people, enjoy the content, or, they got information from it. So they'll, show it to other people as well. So that's kind of like what that is about. So I do see your thumbs up, and I do appreciate it, and make sure it's a thumbs up and not a thumbs down, because sometimes that happens to you, mean to put the one with the thumb going up and you put the one going down. No, no bueno. So that's as far as that goes. So did anyone have any gardening questions for me, while we are wrapping it up here? Of course, I'm going to be doing some for the fall season. Classy Andra, I miss your videos. You're probably on a pause right now, whatever the case may be, but I do miss your videos. So whenever you're ready again to start, I'll be here, ready to support you as usual. So, so let me see what Bruce said. He says, looking forward to see your fall presentation. Yes, so that fall one is coming up. And again, if you hadn't heard before, I said that the fall season is my absolute favorite. Well, I actually created a fifth one. Well, not created, but ascribed to the fifth one, which is the Christmas season. I love Christmas. you know, when we think of what it represents, the real reason for Christmas, when you think about that, I celebrate it. People have different reasons why they don't, and I get that. But for me, that's a wonderful time. Right behind that is the fall season, because I just love when the leaves change color. It's just so beautiful. The air's a little bit more crisp, but not cold like in the winter. And you start preparing your bulbs and stuff that's going to come up in the spring. So I absolutely just love that season. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, and try to see maybe I can plant some bulbs. At least try for some tulips this time. I have daffodils and some other ones, but the squirrels give me such a hard time. They really love them. I've tried, and I'm gonna try again. I keep trying to find solutions to deal with it, because tulips are so pretty. But we'll see how it goes. I'll try again. Yes, so let me see. Bruce Lee says, yes, everyone get ready. No, Deborah said, get ready for fall. Bruce Lee says, yep. Oh, you're talking about the tire and stick from earlier. And then just Ellie says, fall is so beautiful indeed. Yes, absolutely. And then, you have the fall fest, the kettle corn, and all of those different things that go on. So, it's a lot of fun. It's absolutely a lot of fun. So I really enjoy it. So I guess you guys are maybe ready for fall, just to see the colors and everything and how it's gonna go. Like I said, I do my videos, the gardening ones on Fridays. I'm trying to stick to that. Not every single week will I have, like a decorating one, and a fall one and a gardening one as well. Sometimes it'll probably just be one, because we all have busy lives. We can't always just keep putting them out. Some people, they have a little bit more time because they're retired or they work part-time or whatever. So we just, we do what we can. But I try to make sure I upload at least once per week. And I just saw something earlier, name plugging a little bit. I have subscribed to his channels. I don't watch him that often, but Nick Nimmin, it did pop up on my homepage today. He was saying something about some changes that are coming to the YouTube channel, where in the past shorts were just kind of like very pigeonholed by themselves. And I've done a couple shorts. And shorts, for those of you who don't know, it's a video that's vertical. It's filmed vertically like a TikTok video, and it lasts for 60 seconds or less. And so normally sometimes those get tons and tons of views, but then it doesn't like transfer over to your channel at all. it's not monetized unless, I think maybe if you have like a short channel where you do shorts alone, they have a different thing that they work out for you there. But for the regular creators, creators with a small c, like myself, those don't convert to watch hours or anything like that. But and it doesn't even, bring the person to your channel unless they specifically say, okay, let me tap on it and see, what your channel is about. But he's saying that what's going to happen is that you're going to use those to try to recommend your other channel content to the people who watch your short videos. So they're not going to be like two very, very separate things, because right now they really are. So you maybe say get like 1,000 views, 10,000 views, 1,000,000 views for one of your short videos. And then, it just never suggested anything to the person to say, come back and look and see what they may do, like in a full length video, the ones that are horizontal like that. But that is changing. So, that's a good way to, add to your channel as well, to just go ahead and, just add in some short videos, when you have the time. It doesn't take very long. You can just go ahead and put those in there. So, guys, we're at an hour and 10 minutes in. I just want to say I appreciate you all so much. This, was such a good conversation. Oh, you said good to see your husband helping out. Yes. Oh, and let me just say before I go any further, thank you for the plug. I have to say thanks so much to my husband and my sons. They help me so much with these videos. Whenever you see like two hands, except for this because I'm on my laptop, whenever you see two hands, that's not me. That's them, filming stuff for me. I try to do as much as I can so as not to, impinge on their time too much. But, they help me with some of the filming sometimes. My husband uploads them for me sometimes. And they really help it a lot. They're very supportive. I do a lot of gardening videos, as you know, they're usually out there helping me as well too. So I'm not out there by myself, even though you may see me. They just at this point would rather, they've made a couple of cameo, you may see them a couple of times in one or two videos here and there, but for the most part, they're not in front of the camera, and that's what they prefer at the moment. So that's fine. But I do want to say thank you so much to you, my husband and my sons, for helping me out so much. I truly appreciate you. And I see, some of you ladies sometimes that your husbands are on there helping you out, in front of the camera or behind, whichever way. And it's just like, don't take it for granted, it's something that is, really truly a blessing. So whatever God blesses you with, whatever form or shape it comes in, he's not going to give you something that's not good for you. So unless you bother him too much and he's like, okay, try it on for size and see how you feel. But for the most part, he's going to, it's, as you said, it added no sorrow. So he gives you, like good blessings, and, you thank him for those. And that's one of mine. So that's basically it right there, guys. Let me see. I just want to look at the last comments. I don't want to leave anybody off here, with something that they said. She says, awesome to have family contributing to the success of your YouTube channel. Absolutely. And Deborah says, that's very nice that they help you. Yes. And Jared Cia says, well, he gave a smiley face. So I guess he agrees with me on that. So I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. And again, feel free to share this if you think it might bring a smile to someone's face, bring back some good memories for them. I'm hoping to do 2 other parts. Maybe it just might end up just being one more, depending on how many things I have to cover, because I want to give you something that will keep you engaged, something that you feel like you can identify with, or, just get information from. So we'll see how it goes. It may just be one more or maybe 2 more, depending on how it goes. But I so appreciate all of you. I thank you so much for joining me, for supporting my channel, for helping me to get to that landmark the other day of 1,000 subscribers. It meant a lot to me. For some people, they get there very quickly. Some people it takes a little bit longer, but if you just keep making videos and just keep making them better every time, and just kind of reassess yourself sometimes to, what could I be doing differently? And sometimes ask somebody who has your interest at heart, like they care about you, that for a fact because they're proven themselves. And just ask them, is there anything you think, watch a couple of these and tell me if there's anything that you think I could do differently. Because I've gotten feedback from, like family members that are close or not so close. And they tell me, and I say, okay. And, don't get defensive about it, because we're here to help each other. Don't get defensive about it. Just listen to what they say, see if it makes sense. And then you can make some adjustments to see, like I said, I'm not like a huge channel or anything to say like, I have it all together or whatever, but, I can just give whatever little information I have, and we just try to help each other. So thank you again, guys, so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. And I do hope to see you in the next video. Maybe I'll do a live stream on Labor Day, which is going to be a Monday. We'll see how it goes because I think people will be off. So, we'll see. But thank you again for joining me. And let me take one last look. I saw something coming. I don't want to cut anybody off. Yes, she said, yes, he is. Miss Juanita gave the prayers and the heart. Christy says, you all keep up good job and keep helping each other. We are leaving a better world. Yes, yes. And this is the thing about YouTube now. Unless something changes down the road, this will be here. It'll be here for the future to continue to help people out. So that's the part that I love about it too. Your kids and your grandkids, can see them years afterwards. Because I watch videos sometimes they're 10 years old and they are still good. May not have some of the things that the newer ones have, but they're still good. They still have good information. They still bless my heart. So, sometimes it's music, just different things. So she says, have a good night, everyone. Blessings. Miss Marlene, she really took me back to memory lane. It was a real pleasure. Remember to sign up for these guys as well, too. And she said, well said at Bruce, well said. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off now, and I wish you all a wonderful rest of the weekend, okay? Take care. Love you guys. Bye.